Good evening. My name is Eugénie Ducatel. Welcome to part one of the Blockbusters series, two-part series. Tonight we're going to cover 3 blocks, and next week we'll cover the last one. So without any further ado, let me share my screen with you, lovely people, and let's get the show on the road right about now. There we go. So here we go. All right. So I'm hoping this is going to take about half an hour. This is me. This is me, little Eugenie. I'm about 9 or 10 years old. This is in France where I grew up. And I took this picture because it's part of the Blockbusters. And you're looking at a little girl who has no blocks whatsoever. And the beautiful thing about children is they grow up and they don't have blocks until life happens. And then we start learning from our lessons. We start having fear. We start to have fear about all sorts of different reasons. So anyways, this is probably one of my favorite pictures of me because I'm just like, whoa, I got to jump over that rope and look at the toe. It's like super, super intense in trying to get over that rope. So yeah, if you think you can or think you can't, you are right, from Henry Ford, which is again, how the mind allows you to think you can or not, which is one of my favorite quotes. So I thought that would be good to start this webinar tonight. Blockbusters Part 1, bust your blocks and start freeing yourself to live the life you truly want. So you know me, my name is Eugénie Ducatel. I am a life coach. I'm also a teacher. I'm also a mom. I'm also a cyclist. I would like to think I'm also a writer because I am published. So I'm going to say I'm a writer. And I guess you could say that the main thing is I'm a person who is always trying to learn and grow. So a little bit of a story about me is I was born in Canada, in Calgary, Alberta, from 2 French parents from France. And I grew up in France and I came back to Canada. I learned how to speak many languages, of course, French and English. I had to deal with, I dealt with some mental health issues when I was younger. Actually, not just when I was younger, till much later when I was an adult. I taught high school in British Columbia. I met my ex-husband. We had 2 babies, moved to Ontario. And then basically, that's it. I've been in Ontario since. I'm no longer married, but I still have my beautiful daughters, obviously, and they're beautiful. And I've been teaching high school for almost 30 years. And I experienced a professional burnout in 2018. I literally walked out on the job. Yep, I did. I thought, okay, that's it. That's good. And I did some coaching. I did some therapy. I did some meditation. I exercised, you name it. I did it all. And so now today I have learned so much from this experience, and I'm so grateful that I made it and I'm okay. Still work in progress, guys. Nothing's ever perfect, but I have more tools to handle whatever life is sending my way. And of course, as a coach, I want to help people with their issues as well. So I help my clients thrive with optimal mental and physical health so they can experience confidence, success, and joy in all aspects of their lives. Because if there's one thing I know for sure, is that if we're not healthy, whether it's physical or mentally healthy, well, not much happens. So for me, my main focus as a wellness coach, especially, is to really optimize your mindset, optimize your body so that you can live your life to the fullest. Hence the exploration with the blocks. This is all my information here. I have a webpage, I have a YouTube channel. This little video tonight will end up on the YouTube channel, so you can refer back to it later. I'm a certified professional coach, and I'm also an energy leadership assessment master practitioner, which means I can get you to do this assessment about your energy, how you show up on the daily, on a good day, on a bad day, and it will give you like wicked clarity on how you function. And it's really cool and it's life-changing. So Blockbusters Part 1, everybody. Yay, Part 1. We're going to do a quick overview of energy, really quick. I'm not even going to go into too much detail, but at least the importance of it. And then I will cover the 3 energy blocks. It's a slight lie. I am going to cover the 3 inner blocks. There's also outer blocks that I will briefly mention. So there is materials for journaling and reflecting to help you move through your blocks. So this is at the end of the presentation. And if you want this material, by all means, just send me an email and I will send you a copy. So what is energy, everybody? Why is it important? What is energy? What is energy? Some days you feel good, you can conquer the world, and there's other days you're like, my God, you can't even get out of bed. What's that all about? Well, it's about energy. So basically, the energy is how you show up in your life. It comes from your lenses or your filters. It can also come from your energy, biological energy. If you're exhausted, you're just going to be tired, and you will probably wear the black glasses. But in a reality, if you're just normal, not tired, just regular, it's the lenses or filters through which you see the world and your experiences, how you interpret yourself, others, and events that happen to you, and how you react to them, for better or for worse. Sometimes we react in ways we wish we hadn't. And part of coaching is choosing your reaction as opposed to reacting to it. So those are the filters. You grow up, you've experienced stuff, things happen to you, and they form your belief system in the world. So do you ever say or think to yourself, for example, why me? It's no use. I can't ever get this right. It's so easy for everyone else, but not for me. And, oh, you can't do that. You think to yourself, no, I can't do that. It's never been done before, right? So that's a limiting belief, by the way. So if you think that, if you're feeling stressed, disappointed, or you ruminate your thoughts and you wish you'd done something differently, or you talk yourself out of doing something you actually really want to do, if your energy is bogged down, people, guess what? There's a block. Yes. Let's see what they are and let's beat them to a pulp. So there's two types of energy to begin with, guys. There's catabolic energy in coaching. I'm an IPEC coach. This is the language that we use. It basically means it's a negative energy, destructive, it's stressful, and it does not help you live your optimal life. It blocks you. And then there's positive energy that we call anabolic, which is positive, less stress. It keeps your mind open. It allows you to see the big picture. And of course, it enables you to live with more life satisfaction. As coaches, as core energy coaches, we like to shift our people from a place of I can't to a place of I can and I'm doing it. So today, we want to see how to get rid of the I can't, analyze what's going on a little bit, give you some strategies, and get you moving forward. So today, there's actually only four inner blocks. They're called the Gales. And they are called Gales because of those letter gremlins, which is the inner voice that says we are not good enough, assumptions, interpretations, limiting beliefs. And today we'll go backwards from the least powerful to the strongest. We'll go limiting beliefs, interpretations, and assumptions. And we'll keep the gremlins for next week. But first, let's look at outer blocks because they are also a block that is worth mentioning, obviously. I'm going to say something tragic, but so that is very clear. Let's say, for example, you have a person who is in a refugee camp somewhere in the world, and there's a few of those. The reality is that person has some serious outer blocks. There's a lack of food, there's a lack of shelter, her safety is not guaranteed. And so even if she has all of the best intentions in the world, she does not have access to education. She can't. She's stuck with those outer blocks. But still, let's still analyze them a little bit. For us regular people who are not hopefully in refugee camps and are watching this video today, it could be things that are outside of your control. So a lack of time, maybe a lack of education, a lack of money, lack of resources. Maybe you're in an area where you don't have access to electricity, skills, etc. But usually with outer blocks, and this is why I'm going to lead into it, is someone will say, I just don't have time. And so if that person does not have time, and we're also busy, and you are very busy, but let's just observe perhaps the fact that you may be watching 2 or 3 hours of Netflix a night, or perhaps your screen time with your phone is 4 or 6 hours a day. So then it's not so much a lack of time, there's something else blocking you with your goals, with your dreams, with what you want to do with your life. And that, my friends, is an energy block. And we will start with the limiting beliefs tonight. Limiting beliefs. Okay. So this is a picture of a pile of logs. And yes, the first time I went mountain biking, we're going along the trail and I'm with my friend Joanne, who is one of the most fabulous people I know. Joanne Wagner is her name. Oh, Beatty now, she's married. And it's my first time. I got my mountain bike. I'm with all these nice ladies, and Joanne is at the forefront. And I see, to my great horror, a stack of logs, just like this one, except there's no like little path. It's jammed between trees, and you have to go over the logs. And I had a panic moment, and I thought, my God, you can't do that. That's impossible. Who goes and bikes over top of logs? And so my limiting belief was that it could not be done. But of course, unfortunately, it's not a picture of Joanne. I wish it were. It's a man on top of it. So, but she was a woman, and she's a woman, and she did it. And the second she did it, she just went on the one side, on the other side. And all of a sudden, my beautiful brain, having seen that it was possible, well, guess what? I did it too. Yes, there you go. So my limiting belief was pulverized by someone else doing it in my very front, in front of my very eyes. So yeah, the limiting beliefs usually are statements that you believe are true, and they may be holding you back accordingly. So it's about the world, about the people in it, situations you've learned from, life in general that hold you back from success and stop you from getting what you want. They're not necessarily about you. There's something that you've seen, social media, whatever. They could be stereotypes. You've learned these through your teachers, through your parents, through your friends, family, through politicians, through coaches. That's where you will have learned them. So basically, in a nutshell, if we believe something is not possible, we are not likely going to attempt it, just like with me and those logs. So how wonderful would it be to think that it is possible? So example of limiting beliefs. So having money brings happiness. All good men are married. This is for those of us who are online dating or just dating in general. What a good girl. And this is usually when a little girl is quiet and well-mannered and polite, right? Yeah, that's the belief that girls should be behaving like that, right? You have to work hard to be successful. Taking care of yourself is so selfish. Asking for help means I am incompetent. Men who cry are weak. Women should have children to have purpose. Hockey players are all players. And so on and so forth. Oh, the last one here says, oh, you can't have a career and be a good mom. Those are a whole bunch of, there's so many. So basically, this is a funny little magnet that I had, because I actually put it away. I don't believe in it anymore, but I'm an Aries. And Aries is one way of describing people or having beliefs about how we should be or how we should behave. And so when I bought it years ago, I thought it was quite funny because I was all of those things. I was angry, I was impetuous, and I was brash, and I was headstrong and jealous and bossy. And well, I never was that bad. Like if my friends were hearing me now, they'd be like, oh, come on, Eugenie, you're exaggerating. But I was definitely restless. I was definitely impatient, and I definitely had an edge to me because I always hovered with a lot of anger because I had my mental health issues and I was not taking care of myself. So I was always on survival mode. And so basically I was like that right on that magnet. And much later, for years and years, I'm like, yeah, I'm just impatient. And that was my limiting belief. And it basically made it that I could just not explore the fact that I could be patient one day, which I am much more patient now. Thank you very much. Thanks to many, many factors. But anyways, I thought I would share that with you today. So the question is, do beliefs, do they serve you or block you? Oh, spelling mistake there. So identify what works for you. So if you draw a list, what are your beliefs? Men are more patient than women. Is that serving you or not serving you, right? And just put a W for it works for you and L if it limits you. So for example, women are just as capable as men, obviously, that works for you, perfect. Having a mental health issue makes it impossible to lead a happy life. Is this going to help you or limit you? It will probably limit you. And I felt this for myself for many, many years as I was going through my progress and my growth with my mental health. I was convinced that being happy in this lifetime was just not meant for me because of my mental health issues. I was wrong, thankfully. I was able to make it, and I'm work in progress every single day, but it is absolutely doable. So, limiting belief here for me and for many people, and that is something that I'm better at now, but let's just say putting myself first, self-care is so selfish, especially people if you're Catholic. I don't know if people are Catholic here, but we live with permanent guilt. I hear Jewish people live with guilt too, but anyways, guilt. And so basically, if I decide to take the evening off, go to the restaurant with a girlfriend, the guilt comes up. I should be spending that money on the kids' shoes. I should be making supper. You know, it would be cheaper, save the money. It's just so frivolous, right? And exercising, good Lord, don't have time to exercise. You know, I'm just going to take care of everyone else, not me, because I'm not important. I'm going to be on the last little speck of importance on my scale of importance. And so then my health is going to deteriorate and then I will burn out. So basically, obviously, this is a limiting belief that I have definitely changed throughout the years and ferociously advocate that putting your health first is probably the most important thing you will ever do for yourself, but everyone else in your life. So stick to it. I'm a wellness coach. There you have it. So how is this a limiting belief? Let's go through it. Identify the belief, people, if you have it, whatever it may be. Ask how true is that belief really, and look for proof of its truth or lack of proof. So, is it true that people actually, don't need to put themselves first, is selfish? Well, I grew up with a mom who devoted her life to us and did not take care of her health, and she had mental health issues her entire life. My father also worked very, very hard, did not put himself first, and experienced a heart attack, etc. So that's not true. Where did I get that idea? Well, I get that idea from my upbringing, from the fact that I had two very hardworking parents who did not take care of their health, and mental or physical, mental mainly from my mom, physical from my dad. And there are many reasons for that, but that's where I got the idea that taking care of yourself was frivolous. That was a waste of time. How has this affected me as a person? Well, it has made me a perfectionist, a workaholic, and someone who, thankfully, I was always very athletic in my life, but I would just work, and put myself last. And in the end, the cost of this belief was a professional burnout. So that was not working for me. I did experience the burnout. And then, so of course, the limiting belief now is to change it and role play and say, what would be healthy? What would be healthy is for me to exercise 3 times a week because I will be in a better mindset. I will feel better about myself and I will be in a better mood. And if I'm in a better mood, everyone else is in a better mood. Who wants a grouchy couch or a grouchy high school teacher or a grouchy mom? Nobody. So if I'm happy, everyone's happy. Therefore, my health and my self-care has got to come first. So I've totally rewritten this one. Pretty good, eh? I know you're proud of me. Thank you. This story belief. And so, okay, I just said that. Energy block number 2. So belief interpretations, or sorry, the first one is limiting beliefs. So it's basically just to wrap up. What is the belief? Is it working for you? If it is not working for you, actually writing it out again. Energy block number 2, people. Let's bust it. Interpretations. Oh, this one is a rampant one. Interpretations, as the word indicates, is you interpret something about an event and you create a story around it. It's usually a false story because it's an interpretation. So something happens and you make up an idea about what happened. You have no idea what happened. You just saw an aspect of it. So, but you make this story up based on your beliefs and your past experiences unconsciously, and you're looking for evidence to support it and believe that your story is true. When in actuality, your interpretation often represents only one viewpoint among the many that are possible. Because we see what we expect to see. Yes, people, I have a cool little activity for you. Look around for 20 seconds and make a mental note of all things that are black. Yes. 20 seconds. All right. Now that you've paid attention to things around you that are black, I would like you to tell me what you saw that was blue. And you're like, what? That's not cool. You said black. I said, I know, but I lied because basically you were looking for things that were black. And in the end, you weren't paying attention to the other stuff. Isn't that crazy? I know. That's amazing. So think about a situation where something upset you. What happened? What interpretations did you make that caused you upset? I will use a very basic example that happens to me not too long ago, actually. So there was a kiosk situation at my high school, and it was to choose and select classes for next year. So we all got to present our different classes to students who would walk through the gym. And our office is like really busy right now because we all have our information that we want to present. And so then I asked a colleague, I said, hey, do you want to come with me to my kiosk, like next to mine, and then we can just be together? And she didn't answer, didn't even look at me, didn't nothing. And I was just like, oh my God, what did I do? She obviously doesn't like me. So if we analyze this, challenge the interpretation, ask yourself, what's another way of looking at that? What could be the opposite of what you are thinking? And what would a friend say about a situation? And a friend would say, and this happened not even 15 minutes after the event, it was another colleague actually, when I said, oh, okay, well, I guess I just got ignored. And I got all, a little bit offended. And my other colleague said, I don't think she heard you. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. Because the office was a circus that morning. Of course, she didn't hear me. She had her own stuff going on. She had to line up her ducks. She had to get her things organized. And of course, she didn't hear me. So that's a perfectly, this is a perfect example of an interpretation where I felt that she was ignoring me, but she wasn't. She had her own stuff going on. So go back to what's another way of looking at that? What could be the opposite of what I'm thinking? And what would a friend say about the situation? Energy block number 3, people, assumptions. Let's bust this one as well. So because something happened in the past, the assumption, you assume that it will happen again. Oh, this is a tricky one. This one is energetically charged because it is based on personal experience. And so there's more emotion and energy, and it's harder to let go of. So in a nutshell, history will repeat itself and it won't be good. You're creating energy into failing. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're focusing on the challenges instead of the solutions. This is all happening in your mind. Let's bust this block, people. So, what are some painful, unpleasant, difficult things that have happened to you in your past that are tainting your mindset in the present? So let's just take online dating. That's one of my favorite subjects because I was online dating for years and years, you guys. And to say it was not, let's just say it was not very useful, or perhaps I didn't experience much success in the earlier years. I'm better at it now. And so basically, because I failed and met a whole bunch of men that I just did not want to pursue relationships with, I had the mindset that if I did it again, if I keep going online, I'm just going to meet more of the same, and it's not going to do any good. So basically, go back to challenge it. Use other strategies that you've used in the past and use them in the new situation to block the past and allow the future with an open mind to happen. So what is an event you succeeded that was successful in the past? What worked well? Why was it working well? What strengths did you have when you did this? And how can you take those strengths and apply them in the new situation? So obviously, online dating is not like Netflix, but when I was dating online, I was addicted. I was spending way too much time. I didn't know how to block my time very well, so I would just spend too much time. Like hours even in the evening. I would check it during the day. It was just, and this, by the way, I will mention this next week in the gremlin. The gremlin was that I was triggered. I needed to feel loved and worthy. And so that was like, that's the fourth block that we will explore next week. So, but between that experience and now is I know how to use the Freedom app because I do have a little bit of an addictive personality and I do like my Netflix. And so what I do is I use the Freedom app and I can set a schedule so that I can stop myself from watching Netflix at certain times. And I can do the same with online dating so that I'm not completely possessed with this and I can have a life outside of online dating. The other thing that I know for a fact that I did not know earlier on in my dating life when I just left my ex-husband, because I didn't know who I was, now I know what makes me happy outside of a relationship. So that'll be exercising, meditating, journaling, hanging out with friends, whatever that may be. I'm going to keep doing those things. Oh, I just signed up for salsa bachata on Sundays. Looking forward to that. So I'm going to do that. Whether or not I'm online dating, I'm going to stick to what makes me happy. Connecting with my friends and family is so important. So make those dates with my friends and keep up with those. Online dating can be really stressful. So in order to have like a happy, calm mind, I will use meditation techniques, which help me with pretty much everything. So meditating before a date, even meditating before going online to chat with people, that would be incredibly helpful. Setting up my ABCs before a date. Okay, this is another strategy that I've covered in another webinar, but it basically means 3 game plans. Plan A, plan B, plan C, set them up ahead of time, and then I can come out a winner even if I am not with the person I will date again. And then basically just have a list of non-negotiables and no settling. So basically learning from past experience, this will be different this time, and this is why it will be different. Another strategy to block assumptions is that you're going to say, it will be different this time. I have more tools. I am not the person I was 15 years ago. I am different now. I have a coach now. I have whomever who is supporting me. I have a whole bunch of things that makes me a wiser, better person now. And so I can do this and have that positive self-talk. So past assumptions with me I told you about my online dating. Now I'm going to show you something really scary. It's called mountain biking. Yes. So you saw the logs at the beginning of this presentation. And once upon a time, I went into the hydro cut, which is where we bike. And I had somebody following me, and I don't like it when somebody bikes behind me and I'm the leader, because I like following people when I'm in the forest. It makes me feel safe. But this time I was leading and I fell off a bridge, people. Yeah, I did. I fell off a little bridge, don't panic. But it was, the impact was quite strong. It sectioned off my right brake and my right pedal, and I hit the ditch. And yeah, I got this. This is a bruise on my butt. And basically what happened is I was terrified, of course, and I broke my wrist that day. I didn't know it was broken. But after that, it was fear, absolute, pure, cold-blooded fear that if I ever went back into the hydrocut again, I would die. Yep, that I would fall, break my neck, paralyzed. Who was going to take care of my children? Like, it became massive. And so basically what I had to do around this particular assumption is I had to do a lot of work around that one. So I kept on biking. It's just that I was at first not in the hydrocut. I went back to my health, so cross training, biking. I went in with my friends again. I went in with I had decreased by then my judgment of myself, seeing myself as a failure. I let go of that. And so it was years and years actually before I could get back into the hydrocut. And so this is a true story. And also knowing that I'd faced many difficult situations, I could do this, and knowing I'm going to go in the hydrocut. I'm going to put my foot down if I feel unstable, and I will be okay. So I did go back. But the funny moral of the story is that even though it was okay, I didn't love it because I had grown into another person meanwhile. And this person that you have in front of you now is no longer thrives on adrenaline and extreme sports, I guess. I love to bike on my flat paths with the sky above, no stress. This is more who I am now. I'm more like the meditator, the yoga, the nice, easy bike rides. And so, even though I was accompanied with the most beautiful women who were absolutely amazing and supportive with me, and I enjoyed it, it was okay. I thought, it's not for me anymore. Ta-da! There you go. So I grew out of mountain biking in the hydrocut. So yes, if you want to bust blocks even more, you guys, you hang out with the people who can and who are doing it. Stay away from the naysayers. Stay away from the ones who say it cannot be done. If they're your family, okay, you might have to put up with them, but if you can, associate with yourselves with the people who are doing it and who are living their dreams, and learn from them. Change your script, watch your words. If you keep saying, I can't, go back to those 3 blocks. Is it an interpretation? Is it a limiting belief? Is it an assumption? And do the exercises that I showed you today. Because instead of saying, I can't, just say, I cannot yet. Even that would be better. Or I am learning to do it every day. It will empower you. And then the basics. Get some sleep. Because if you're not sleeping, you are not going to want to try anything. You just want to go back to bed. Exercise. I don't care if it's just walking 20 minutes. Go for it. Get out of the house. Connect with friends and family. Connections with humans. We are human. We need to connect with people. Have fun. How's your fun radar these days? Meditate, journal, do whatever it takes that makes you happy and nurtures your soul. There you go, my dear friends. And we shall end with a picture of me and my cousins and my sister when I was little, when we were all absolutely not scared of anything. And the next webinar next week will be energy block number 4, which is the gremlin. This one is a good one. Oof, it's going to be a good one because once you burst and bust that one, you're going to be unstoppable. Yeah. So once again, if you want the suggested journaling activities, let me know. Email me. I will get them to you. And there you have it. It was my absolute privilege and pleasure to present this webinar for you guys today. Looking forward to hearing from you. Drop me a message, like me on the page in YouTube, and bust your blocks, people. You got this.